It's Monday, February 13th, 2012. I'd like to take this opportunity to discuss the Dr. Phil family. To that end, I will ask this question. Has anyone besides me followed this family saga for the 7.5 years that Dr. Phil has been airing different parts of their lives? If you haven't, I will give you as much background information as I can remember, because a lot has happened over the years, so some of it I am bound to forget. The Dr. Phil family consists of Marty, a father who is emotionally checked out of his marriage between he and his wife Erin, and because he is checked out, he admits to having several extramarital affairs because he says he wasn't getting what he needed from Erin at home, and due to that, Alexander, his 15-year-old daughter at the time, was seeking male attention from other sources because she wasn't getting the male attention she needed from her father. And therefore she ended up pregnant at 15, facing a decision about whether or not to keep her first child. Alexander's 12-year-old sister, Catherine, only seemed to want attention because she was doing some great things in school, but because the family was so focused on Alexander and her pregnancy, it went unnoticed about Catherine's achievements went unnoticed. To me, honestly, both of these girls at one time or another seemed to feel as if they were entitled, and at least in Alexander's case, that would color my judgment of her on future installments of this family saga. There was a point at which, as I said, Alexander decided to keep her son Nathan, and there was a point at which the family seemed to be back on the right track. But the whole family was back 2 years later, after Alex had been married to a guy named Chris and had her second child, a daughter named Layla. But the problem with Chris was the fact that he spent most of their marriage in jail for really stupid charges that really I don't think he got the fact that, his family suffered for it. He kept saying how sorry he was, and and things like that. And he kept telling Alex that he loved her. And I guess on some level, Alex kept playing his feelings for her, playing on his feelings for her. But she finally met this this person basically that I would consider to be a loser, like every parent's worst nightmare, and ended up pregnant for a third time with his child, Tony Jr., who it turned out would be born addicted to drugs. And meanwhile, while all this is going on, Aaron and Marty were raising Alex's first son, Nathan, and her daughter, Layla. And they went for emergency custody of the baby. Meanwhile, we also found out that Anthony was abusing Layla, and that Alex was so messed up on drugs that she was allowing this to happen. So at that point, Erin knew she needed to have custody of Layla, which I may have already said, but since there's so much, I don't know what I've said and what hasn't been. So, as I said, Tony Jr. was born addicted to drugs. So Marty and Aaron took him in and are now raising him as their own, at least until Alex can get back on her feet. I do agree that Aaron does have some faults in this family drama. I don't think a mother should call her daughter some of the names that she called Alexander. But I understand why she called Alex what she did. I guess Erin figured that that was her way of showing Alex tough love. They went into an intervention, which didn't work. Alex ended up leaving the house and just walking down the street. And Dr. Phil finally said, if you don't go into a rehab facility, I'm going to basically give up on you. I'm done. And now that brings us to today's episode. In today's episode, we saw Alex in an inpatient rehab facility. She looked a lot better than I have seen her in a long time. I honestly have to tell you that there were times that I cried because I knew that Alex wanted her children and would fight for her children if she had been clean, and it seems like she's on that path now. Her and Aaron met for the first time in 2 months, and she said some things that Aaron needed to hear and needed to be said. Next time, Marty will be going to a family week visit with Alex, and I will be updating you once I get details on that. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.